Hey guys, we're back for Chapter 1, Lesson 2, Reading and Writing Multi-Digit Numbers. Remember, the word digit means numbers 0 through 9. That was one of your vocabulary words for the lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. Your essential question is still going to be the same as it was from yesterday, and that is, how does place value help represent the value or the worth, that was another vocab word, value of numbers. So let's go ahead and get started with the problem of the day. Ch.1 has attended a local amusement park twice every year since he was 5 years old. How old is Ch.1 if he has been to the amusement park 20 times? For some of you, you may get confused by this, but I'm going to give you a few hints and then help you walk through how to solve this problem. We know that it's been twice every year that he is going to this museum. A lot of you are going to be tempted to start counting when he was 0 to a year old, but remember, we are wanting to start at the age of 5. So I'm going to write that down at the bottom. You'll see why in just a second. How old is Ch.1 if he has been to the amusement park 20 times total? That's his total. So when I start at 5 years old, I'm going to put like 2 tallies below to say he's been to the museum twice. At the age of 6, of course, he went twice to the museum, just like he did the year before. When he turned 7, he went 2 more times, so I'm at 6 tallies. I'm going to continue to do that, so for age 8, and then we have age 9, and this is going to be 10 over here. So I'm going to add 2 more tallies below 8, 9, 10. So that gives me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 tallies. Remember, I need to get to 20 times. So I'm going to go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And I'm going to keep counting his age to see what I get. So this is when he is 11, he's visited twice. When he was 12, he visited twice. When he was 13, he visited twice. And when he turned 14, he went twice to, I keep calling it a museum, but the amusement park. So you can see that I've got 20 tallies down here at the bottom, and I'm keeping track of his age at the top. Ages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're assuming he's going to be 14 years old, so let's go ahead and check our answer to make sure that we did it correct, and the answer is 14 years old. Woohoo! Let's move on to the next thing. All right, you are going to identify the place of each underlined digit. Then write the value of the digit. We did this yesterday. So look at the underlined digit. In this case, for number 1, I have the 3 that is underlined. Because of the spot it is in, like the place value, how much is it worth and what is the place value? Go ahead and work out numbers 1 through 4. Record your answers. And I'm going to give you about 10 seconds before the answers come on the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Hopefully your answers match up. And we are ready for the next set. Here we go. Jack hiked 15,840 feet while he was camping. Which of these equals 15,840? Oh, I see one in particular I can eliminate right away because I know if I add 1 plus 5, that's 6. 6 plus 8 gives me 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. Ooh, that is totally off. So I'll eliminate 1 for you. Leave you with a couple of more. Take a little bit of time to figure out which one is correct. And the answer is going to come up on the screen in 5, 4, 3. Remember to pause if you need it to. 2, 1, and the answer is D. Okay, moving on. Investigating the math, how do you determine the value of each digit in a whole number? Everybody should know the answer to this. Think about, so answering a problem like this, you need to remember that thinking about your houses and place value, anytime a number moves more to the left when it's switching spots, then that means that number is getting bigger. And remember, you could have, for example, let me draw this out real quick. Let's say I have 3 spots. And in my 3 spots, let me get a different color. I end up writing the number, well, not the same color, but that's okay, 123, okay? Some of you might get confused in thinking that the biggest number is the 3. And yes, it's true that 3 is bigger than 2 or 1, but when you're talking about the value, remember value means worth. And when you keep moving to the left, that value is increasing. So that means even though you have a 1 over here, that 1 is worth more because that's worth 100. Think about it in money. If you had $100 or you had $3, which one would you want? Of course, we know that 3 is a bigger number, but when it comes to the value, I would take $100 any day over just having $3. Hopefully, you wouldn't make that mistake. Oops, I think I skipped a little bit. Let me go back. I sure did. Okay, let's clear the board for the next thing. There were 584,703 fans in the stadium. Write this number in expanded form and word form. I will help you out with this. Whenever you are writing it in expanded form, so I'm just going to write EXP, so you know this is expanded. Expanded form, you are going to go through each place value and you're going to set it up so it looks kind of like an addition problem. So the 5 is in the hundred thousands place, so you are going to write 5, and then because it's in the hundred thousands place, I'm going to make it look like 500,000 because that's how much it's worth. So I write all that out, and then I'm just going to keep going. I had the 5, so the next number in line is the 8. The 8 is in the 10,000s place, so you have 8 10,000s. So it would be like taking 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000, and you're going to do that 8 times. So I would write that down as 80,000, and you would too. And so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to write all of it out because I'm going to let you continue that. Look at your next place value, the 4. It's in the thousands place, so it's worth 4,000. Break down all your numbers. And that's how it would look if you would do expanded form. I'll show you the answer in just a second. And when you're doing word form, literally it is what it is. You are going to write it out in words. So, of course, you're going back to your 5. You would write out 5, and my handwriting, I bet you, is going to be sloppy on the computer, but you're going to write out 584,000, all in words, 703. When you do this, let's go ahead and clear our board, and I will bring up the answer for you to see. This is what it's going to look like. Down below, you can see it. I really hope that that's the answer you got. If you're a little confused on expanded in word form, we can go over it in our small group time. But I'm going to continue to the next thing. So the expanded form of a number is shown below. Write the standard form and word form of the number. For some of you, this might be the first time you have been exposed to the word standard. Standard means the regular, the normal thing that you would do. Normally, whenever I'm writing out a number, I don't write it out as an addition problem. I will write it out like a regular number, how I'll see it. So I see there's a 9 in the billions, or sorry, millions spot. and then 20. So if I were to write that out in standard form, I'm going to write it for what it is. 9 million. There's nothing in the thousands house or the thousands period, so I'm just going to keep my zeros as it is. And then 20. Okay, well, I have no hundreds, but I do have a 2 in the 10 spot and I have a 0 in the 1 spot. This would be considered standard form. And of course, word form, we just finished doing that. You're going to write it out using your words. And give you a couple seconds. Remember to pause the video if you need to. Answers are coming up on the screen in 3, 2, 1. There you go. 9,020,000. You guys are rocking it. All right, this Math in My World, this example should be in your book on page 17. Page 17, example 1, scientists found that a Goonie bird once traveled 24,983 miles in just 90 days. That's about 3 months. Use a place value chart to read the number of miles that the Goonie bird traveled. So we went ahead and they already set this up for you, and some of this might look familiar to you if you remember drawing little houses to represent each period. So if that helps you give that visual, there's where your separation is when you leave one house to go to a different house. Remember, when you leave one house, that's where your comma is, and you have to name the house that you're leaving, okay? So I just want you to pay attention to the first house, the thousands period. The number you see in this area is 24, okay? Say 24 like you would for anything else, 24. And I'm walking out the door. I'm going to head into the next house. So I have to say the first comma. If you only have one comma, that means you're leaving the thousands house. 24,000. And now go ahead and say this number as you would if the 24 was not there. 983. 24,983. So let's erase what I've done. There are different ways to write numbers. So you can write it the standard form, or that's how you would normally write out your numbers. You can write it out in expanded form. That's when it looks like an addition problem with all those zeros and it shows the worth of each number. Or you can also write it out in word form, and that's probably the one that takes the longest, but it's worth doing at times. All right, let's move on. Example 2, the population of Botswana is about 1,882,000. Write this number in standard, regular form that is, expanded as an addition problem, and then word form. If you need to pause, please pause, but I'm going to go ahead and put the answers up for those who are ready. Hopefully, this is what you have. All right, so your guided practice starts on, I'm looking at page 18, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to write it in standard form. That is writing a number regularly, like you normally would write it. You have to take it out of word form into standard, out of expanded, put it back into standard. And then for down here, number 3 and 4, you're going to write it in expanded and then word form. So you have to do 2 things to number 3, 2 things to number 4. It's probably going to take you a little bit, and that's okay. And pause the video if you need to. I really want to make sure that you're getting enough time to work this out, but I'm going to put the answers on the screen, and hopefully this is what you got. All right, we're going to be meeting in small groups soon, hopefully, or maybe I have already met with your group. But the question to think about is, what is the value of the 6 in the number 345,629? After you've thought about that, you may get started on your independent practice. Good luck, you guys. You're awesome.